Hey guys, how's it going? I guess it's pretty early on the West Coast, so I doubt I'm going to get very many viewers, but I got a lot of work I got to do today, and I just wanted to get this out regarding the mass shooting in BC yesterday. And I don't know too much about the details. I believe there's 10 people that died. I'm just looking at the reaction on social media. Let's just go over this. Let's just jump right into it. So this is some of these, they're in order, and this was um, before the shooting. So this is just a sentiment from these agitators. Actually, let's take a step back. The Conservative Party convention, when that happened, initially they tried to attack and dogpile on the People's Party, but then people came out in support of the People's Party indirectly because the People's Party was standing up for parental rights, and the Conservative Party base just, they kind of looked around. They're like, we're between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, we'd have to support the People's Party, which we don't want to do. On the other hand, the Conservative Party is not standing behind parental rights, so we can't support them either. Um, and then normally under these circumstances, you get Conservative Party bots and apparatchiks. They start attacking my account, any account that's pro PPC, but it didn't happen, which leads me to believe that they kind of reallocated the funding that they normally would for those activities to other activities. And I'm seeing an uptick in this. This is sort of this doom and gloom demoralization tactic to nip it in the bud, to attack and kill in the crib any sort of populist movement in Canada. And they're using Maple MAGA or MAGA, synonymous with populism. So anything that's actually truly conservative, lowercase c conservative, they're calling Maple MAGA. Wayne says, to all the separatists, the Maple MAGA morons, this is for you. So it's supposed to make you feel weak, worthless, but it's also supposed to put you on the defensive, and then you lash out and you attack at them, and then you start slugging it out in the gutters, and they've got you, they've trapped you. If you hate Canada this much, then honestly, why are you still here? Well, most people can't leave. It's not like any other country will accept us, and others have loved ones here, and when we're stuck, no one is forcing you to stay. Well, it's funny you say that because they did during COVID. You talk like this place is a prison. Again, it was a prison during COVID. It is a prison when you give 40% of your paycheck to the government, and they turn around and they fund policies you don't like. Like everything is corrupt and ruined and beyond saving. It is. Well, I mean, we'll see if it's beyond saving, but it's definitely corrupt. The judiciary is corrupt. But you are still living here. Well, where are you going to go, man? It's not that easy. It's like somebody who's in a job and they don't like the job, or why don't you just leave? You're in a marriage where your husband is abusing you, but if like, are you just gonna? You can't just leave. You got children. It's the fear of the unknown. Using the services, yeah, like healthcare, the freedoms, the stability, and the stuff that comes with, man. I'm criticizing this guy too much. It gets effing old listening to people scream that the country is trash while doing absolutely nothing except posting angry memes and yelling about separation. This is not strength. That is not patriotism. That is just being permanently rage baiting a-holes for views. Yeah, but things have changed. I pointed out to this with the Conservative Party convention. I mean, you got the PC Prosperity Project, you have the Alberta Prosperity Project, same thing in Saskatchewan. You got separatism popping up in Quebec. We've had a whole bunch of court cases that didn't really go anywhere. We went from PPC federally to one BC provincially, now APP. People are trying to find a way out of this mess. And what we're getting really good at is ignoring people like Wayne and focusing on actually achieving some sort of gain for the country. You're allowed to disagree with the government. You're allowed to be mad about policy. That's normal. That is democracy. But if your whole personality is just hating Canada and everyone in it, then maybe admit you do not actually want to fix anything. You just want to rage. No, no, they're victims and they have trauma. I mean, 6 years of the government trying to kill you, people tend to get angry. If you really believe this country is that terrible, go find one you actually respect. Seriously, no one is blocking the exit. Yeah, well, again, during COVID, they were. America is blocking the exit. Everybody wants to go to America, but it's not easy getting a visa here. Europe isn't much better. I mean, South America, it's got its own issues. Australia's got its own issues. You could go to like Russia, China, Singapore. I'm trying to think where else. Japan, Korea, but they have their own. Like it's just the cultural difference is quite high. And I wouldn't say they have problems. It's just culturally, it's a big change, and a lot of them don't let people in for citizenship. Otherwise, maybe stop acting like a hostage and start acting like an adult who lives here and has a stake in making it better. Um, it's funny he says hostage, but that's what it's like. It's like Stockholm syndrome with these political parties. They harm us. The government harms us, but we still respect and trust the government. I mean, people are trying to make it better. It's funny. He's talking about how people are just raging online, and that's really all he's doing. Moving on, Slipinski, my favorite new online user. My name is Mark Slipinski. I am the voice of reason on the conservative side. While all these losers are worshiping Donald Trump and hating on trans people, I'm advocating for policies that will make Canada a better place. See you in a few days at a break. I think I went over this the other day. Uh, Donald Trump, that's synonymous for populism. The reason that he's talking about hating on trans people is because there's sort of three main issues right now in BC with people that are fed up with the government. One is transgender ideology in the schools. They're really panicking because they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know, nothing they do can stop it. They don't like it. They don't want their kids exposed to it. The other one is this First Nations um, operation where they're stealing taxpayer money, and a couple of the chiefs and a couple of the politicians get all of our money. It's fraud. And the third one is mass immigration. So this guy, his job, he says he's conservative, but his job is to basically ridicule and silence anybody that is actually conservative. It has been brought to my attention that some of these Maple MAGA influencers are getting their talking points mailed to them. Just another reason. Yeah, it's just somebody's paying this guy to, discredit the actual conservative side so that, um, oh Lord, these phones. Conservative side so the Conservative Party can drift to the left. That's what they want to do. Reminder, this is Jenny Byron. Pierre Poilievre's top advisor, former girlfriend. Yes, she's also demonstrating. I think I went over this the other day. I am a conservative and I have some advice for other conservatives. Stop using today's mass shooting as an opportunity to bash trans people, you effing lowlifes. This is going to be a huge problem. Because both sides are going to use this, right? So people that oppose transgender ideology, I don't think they're going to be able to contain themselves. And the other side, like true radicals, they won't let a good tragedy go to waste. So I suspect, man, Nikki, would you stop? What are you guys doing? Some of the things, um, yeah, like some predictions. One, I think they're going to try to turn this negative into a positive and get more gun grab going. The other one is I think they're going to use it to arrest people for transphobia. So it's a trial run of Bill C9, even though it hasn't really passed. And I guess people like Mark are going to go around discrediting, baiting conservatives into. Let me go see where my dog is. I hope something that's not wrong. 1 second. Max, get back here. Come here. Get in the house. Get in the house. Come on. No, dog. Mark Slipinski let's all give a prayer to all victims of today's mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, and a bigger prayer for all the Trump. Okay, bigger prayer for all the Trump supporters, populists, who will seize this tragedy to promote hatred against trans people. God knows what they have done. I don't know. I don't even know if this guy's trans, the shooter. I don't know if we have confirmation yet. I wouldn't put it past the left if they dangled this out there just to try to get people to, come out and attack trans people and then use that as justification to go after the right. It's bonkers. Like, so many people have died in a normal world. If someone shoots 10 people, you attack that someone. You don't preemptively defend that someone. But we're in a world now where, the aggressor is the victim, I guess. If the shooter of today's mass shooting in Canada turns out to be trans, I blame Maple MAGA. I blame populists. So he's blaming the people on the conservative side. This guy is, never let a good tragedy go to waste. Like, the bodies aren't cold yet, and he's already using that to, make a wedge issue in the political arena. These people have promoted hatred against this tiny minority of people, pushing them to their breaking point. This guy is really good, Slipinski. Like, he should write a book, Rules for Ultra Radicals. He's taking somebody who's harmed 10 people, killed 10 people, and he's absolving that person of all sin, saying it's instead a small segment of society that's pushed that person to that breaking point. I don't remember anyone making this argument when that gentleman in Quebec shot up all those women because they got his spot in medical school over him. I don't remember people coming out and saying, if the shooter of today's mass shooting turns out to be a guy, I blame all feminists. These feminists have promoted hatred against this tiny majority of men, pushing them to their breaking point. That's what he's saying. Slipinski, this guy's living rent free in my head. The less educated you are, the more likely you are to blame trans people for all your problems. I think this is something that's going around. Someone said the less educated you are, the more likely you are to vote conservative, which is actually true, because in today's age, education just means indoctrination. So if you work for the trades and you're a normal, reasonable, rational person, you vote conservative. The less educated you are, the more likely you are to blame trans people for all your problems. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't want to go to jail. Given this climate, they might be looking for reasons to enforce Bill C9 before it's passed. Mario Zalea, darling of Canada. I think I'm more worried about people. I'm more worried about people with Trump derangement syndrome than foreign election interference. My God, this was a shooting in BC, and subconsciously she couldn't resist calling the town Trump, instead of Tumblr. Trump Tumblr, deep sigh and sad. Jesus, guy can't. Okay. So,
town of Trump inside. In fact, everybody in the town of Trump, Tumbler Ridge and beyond is being asked to shelter in place. I'm here along with Sarah Penton in Kelowna, and Leanne Young is our reporter here at CBC Vancouver.
the real tragedy here is that the CBC is still being funded and people actually watch it. Mark Slipinski, your supporters are now blaming this tragedy on trans people. Good luck winning an election. Yeah, I think he's poking Pierre Poilievre. Devastated to hear of the many innocent people murdered and injured in a senseless act of violence at a local high school in Tumbler Ridge. Our prayers are with the families, students, teachers, first responders, and the entire community grieving this profound loss. Yeah, this guy's good. Slipinski, he's really good, and he knows how to go for the nerve. Like, there's a couple of things we've almost completely disarmed, and yet we still have a school shooting. In a logical world, reasonable world, we would say, all right, maybe we shouldn't have disarmed, maybe we should rearm. But we live in a world dominated by the Liberal Party in Canada anyway, and they're probably just going to somehow tie this into like a pretzel, twist the logic into a pretzel to justify somehow if there's one gun out there and that's what caused this. Um, and how are you going to say like violent and nonviolent crime in Canada has exceeded per capita that in the U.S. and now we're starting to get school shootings up here. This is the left. You can't argue with the left. Like they're not looking for the reasoned debate. They're just going to find some way to blame this on the U.S. Rather than saying, "Holy crap, maybe we're no better than the Americans. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe we should focus inwards and fix ourselves." Nope, nope. Blame America. Orange man bad. F. I'm not trying to be glib or sarcastic. When you were saying female shooter, do you mean female shooter or male shooter who identifies as female? Serious question. He says F you. He's riding on this guy's coattails. I can't say anything because we're in Canada and we don't have free speech. I really think this whole thing it's going to blow up and people are going to start either going to jail or paying really punitive fines. Police just called it a gun person, dead children, but heaven forbid we misgender the murderer. Peak liberal insanity. Thoughts and prayers to Tumblr Ridge. It's not about look, this guy had like a meeting with his higher ups before going and talking about this, doing the press release, and they told him, you have to call it a gun person for political reasons, and he agreed. Rather than saying, F off. This is a tragedy. I'll say whatever the hell I want to say. This isn't about your stupid political agenda. He said, yes, sir. And that's why we are where we are in Canada. Here's Suplinski going after everybody. Unemployment and a large fine looks good on this loser. BC nurse suspended by college asked to pay $94,000 in costs for comments about transgender people. I thought this was a while ago, but I don't think Slapinski actually believes in any of this stuff. I think he's really good at his job, which his job is to go around and piss people off. The pleb admits to spreading. This is like, so this is the pleb. A few hours ago, I posted an image of someone I believe to be in Tumblr Ridge school shooter before the identification had been verified. The post was removed within minutes. I've also been proactively reaching out to accounts sharing the same unverified image to encourage whatever. Speed is never an excuse for inaccuracy, and I will exercise greater caution. Yeah, sometimes you mess up and you kind of you get egg on your face. So Pinsky comes out and he turns this around. Like these are two people I don't really get along with anyway. But you got like two vultures attacking each other. Fuck. Hold on. Man, I hate my life. Yeah, this guy's a loser. I can't believe Tara Armstrong actually came out and said this. Today's the day to drop the pronouns. It's too soon. It's too risky. The pleb was caught red-handed. Oh my god, these guys are losers. I wanted to play something else, but I got to play it again later because my life sucks and I got 50 billion things to do. I got to go. Bye.